Shane Dawson posted a video. I was on vacation. I was on my week off. I've been gone for a while, but if you pay attention to my first channel, you know that I've been having some things going on. Yeah, by the way, hi, my name is Hannah. Welcome to my second channel, Hannah Needs to Yell. And today I need to yell about why did Shane Dawson have to come back while I was on vacation? All right, listen, okay? Shane Dawson came back. First, I'm going to give you a little recap of the video in case you don't want to watch it. I don't recommend that you do because it's not that interesting. You know, it's average for his content. The biggest thing that I really pulled from it is that he's missing the point of why he was canceled. Not every single point, but one of the big ones. Let me just describe this video for you that he did, where, by the way, all the comments are heavily moderated. I was scrolling for multiple minutes and couldn't find a single negative comment when I checked, which was several hours after it had been posted when I watched this video. Same thing with his Instagram. All his socials are like that right now. I have a theory as to why, but I'm going to get to that in a moment. So, Shane starts the video off very nervous, very self-deprecating, definitely feeling on the spot, unsure of how to do this video, how to start this video, because he knows he has some important things to talk about. So he starts it off with a house tour. And during this house tour, he starts several times to start to try to address the important things and mainly his cancellation. But then he keeps getting distracted and doing this relatable here's my couch. So it takes him 15 or 16 minutes of that before he actually gets in and starts talking about his cancellation. By the way, I have some notes down here on my laptop, so if I'm looking down, I like to write things down right as I'm feeling them, which was while I was watching the video, I was writing things. So if I'm looking down, I'm just reading from my initial reaction. When he did start addressing it, he mentioned that he had been in therapy both before, during, and after his cancellation. He had made a lot of personal growth during all of that time. Because of the cancellation, he was almost at a point of feeling like he might end his own life, but he's not there anymore, which I'm happy to hear. I don't want anybody to end their lives. He feels like he's in a good state mentally and emotionally. He's definitely ashamed and embarrassed of those old clips that were resurfacing. He isn't that way anymore, and he just wants to come back and make good, spooky, haunted content. And basically he's feeling that at the end of the day, not everybody is going to like him. It is what it is. He can't control that. And that's the type of very, I feel like that's what any therapist would tell their client. It's hard. Not all therapists are about getting you to change. Most of the time, therapy is about getting you to make peace with yourself and love and accept who you are, because from there, you can move forward with things in your life that are bothering you. And it depends on your therapist, but so this sounds like a very therapist approach. You know, not everyone is gonna like you. There's nobody who everybody likes. You just have to accept that. You can only control you. You can't control them. Let go of what you can't control. You know, to me, that's evidence that he's been in therapy, like he says. Around the 22-minute mark, 22 to 23-minute mark, he moves on to the rest of the video, which is completely just moving forward, starting this storyline of this very haunted place in Colorado. So if you do want to see him address these things, you literally don't have to watch past the first half. And really, you don't need to watch until the 15-minute mark. Now, here's the thing. I believe that Shane tried in some way. You don't go away for a year and a half and completely not try. I'm happy that he didn't come back with some kind of a Britney Spears doc, because that was in the rumor mill and I made a video about that. And he said something rather telling that later on, we'll get into it, that shows that I think he really has made a change and done something different this time in terms of how he's approaching these problems with therapy compared to previous times. So we'll get to that in a second. But I think the point that he missed, that I think he is still missing out of this whole thing. So he talks about, like, yeah, he's made personal growth and he's not the same person that he used to be. And, like, we get that. We can see that from his content without him having to verbally say that. However, the problem was not just the old offensive shit that he did on the internet, but the fact that those old offensive videos were still up on his channel, making him money, being recommended to people to watch and get offended by, and it took a cancellation for him to take them down. That was the problem, because there was this continuous argument that people would have, and it would go like,
Shane Dawson is a bad person, he's racist, and he did all these bad things.
Well, but he's changed.
Well, if he's changed, why does he still have that old content up that's bad and offensive?
That was the main question that everybody was wondering. If you're talking about somebody's internal change, at the end of the day, it's really hard for anybody besides that person to truly accurately know whether or not they've changed, how much they've changed. What we on the outside look for is some kind of evidence, some kind of concrete thing that we can point to and say, oh, I can tell that they changed truly because of X. And I think a lot of people would say that removing those old offensive videos would be that type of concrete evidence and that physical proof of change that Shane has been claiming that he had. At the same time, the presence of those videos still being on his channel is proof that he still thought that those videos were okay enough to stay on his channel and to represent him and represent his name and his brand. So he must not have thought that content was all that bad. Like, seriously, why would he leave them up? If he had truly changed and he found those clips embarrassing, why wouldn't you just take the videos down? Why would you leave them up? In this video, he talked about that there were positive messages in those videos too, and like those were important to him, and those were important to leave up. Yeah, there was offensive shit, but there was positive shit too. But the thing is, as a white male, I'm sure that for him, those like positive messages outweighed the negative moments and offensive shit, because they weren't affecting him and being offensive toward him. But for just about anybody else who's not like a white male watching his content, who's being made fun of, who's being made into a caricature, it's really hard for everybody else to cling on to those positive messages among all of the racism and sexism and pedophilic seeming moments. And to be honest with you, it is not like Shane Dawson's old content was a bunch of Dar Man videos. He showed a couple of like silent clips of positive moments in his old videos, and at least one of them with the two fat people, one of whom was Shane dressed up in a fat suit. I was like, what is the positive message here? What could it possibly be? I got heated about that moment. I don't even know what it was, but I didn't want to find out. My God. And plenty of his content also wasn't like all about positive messages. They were just general comedy videos that were generally offensive. So that point stuck out to me, that he said he still thought there were some good positive messages. He clearly hasn't learned how the bad parts outweighed the good. Those were his main points, but it seems like he didn't get the point that he should have deleted them a long time ago. That is one of the big things that everybody wanted from him, and he just missed that. That all being said, one interesting thing that he said that I think, like I mentioned before, is telling, that he is approaching this differently than he's approached past scandals in terms of his therapy and his viewpoint on it. So he said that his cancellation, most recently, forced him to not just push his past to the side, but to truly confront those things and accept that it was not a different person in those old videos, but that it was him, because that's his favorite line. And he says it in this video too, that like, I'm not the same person that I used to be. That person's not me. I feel so distant from that person. And so he went through the process of accepting that no, that is me, that is part of me. I was the one doing those things. And he realized that he needed to confront that part of himself. And listen, I know what it's like to go through massive changes of mindset and ideology. I grew up in a very particular type of mindset in a lot of ways that I now feel like I'm 180 degrees different from. And thankfully, I was not famous during high school when I thought a lot of bad things that I don't think right now. So I don't have an archive of highly viewed videos and posts that I need to go back through and delete. But what I do have is my personal Facebook where people who knew me then still know me now. And I constantly post on there about my new ideas and new beliefs and calling out the old things that I used to think that I now understand how wrong I was. I call out past me because that seems only right. And because people who were in my life at that time who still think and feel that way can see my posts and can be influenced by my opinion. The change of my opinion. Different people handle changes differently, but after growing up basically believing lies for 18 years, now that I'm free from them, I really feel an internal desire to testify about it and just tell everybody how wrong I was and the reasons why and what they should avoid so they don't get sucked into the same toxic ideology that I used to hold. And I think that that's what we all wanted, was for Shane to feel intrinsically motivated to do that without waiting until he was being canceled and his career and livelihood were on fire. And he hasn't even done that. He hasn't even come out and said, this is what I used to do and think, and this is why I was wrong, and I'm not going to do it again. He hasn't made that kind of simple math equation clear for everybody. At least in this video, he's able to say, yes, this was me. This was not a different person. This is a side of me or a part of me or something within me that I need to address. And it sounds like either he has done that or he's in the process of doing it. We have to wait and see what happens. Even in this video, I have to say, if you do watch that second half, it gets a little close to being a little offensive a couple of times. Part of that is just Shane and his whole era of edgy humor, being an edgelord, and it's not as bad as he used to be, that's for sure, but it's not great. There's a couple of moments where I was like, really, Shane, do we have to? Do we have to make a joke about the F word used for gay people? Do we have to? In this video? Really? And that's the type of stuff that I feel like there would be negative comments on the video relating to a moment like that. But I have the sneaking suspicion that his comments right now are being so heavily moderated because, like he mentioned, he was at some point during the past year and a half at a place of feeling like he wanted to end his life. Probably whoever is moderating his comments is protecting him from seeing stuff that might trigger that impulse in him again, which I understand. I don't want him to take that route and go down that path. Nobody does, really, at the end of the day. But if that is going on, and I'm making this up, I don't know for sure, but if that's what you're thinking, that you have to protect yourself from other people's opinions in order to protect your mental health, then you're not ready to come back. You know that it makes people pissed when you censor them, especially Americans. You have an American audience. And if you're not ready to handle the heat that people are going to bring, don't come back until you're ready. For whatever reason you're moderating your comments to death, stop. Just fucking stop it.
If you're really growing and changing like you say you are, then you have to understand that you have hurt people and they are allowed to tell you so. Especially after the lackluster kind of apology in this video.
It's not good for anybody to only scroll through their videos and see positive comments. If you're surrounded by ass kissers all the time, you turn into Jeffree Star. Which I guess he doesn't mind because he's best friends with Jeffree. But for the rest of us, if you're surrounded by ass kissers all the time, you turn into Jeffree Star. We don't want that. Allow people to tell you when you're wrong. It's important. So now that he's back, I'm not really sure what to say about his content moving forward. I think it depends on what your goals were going into his cancellation. If your goal was for him never to come back, I don't think that that was ever going to happen. He makes his career on the internet, and he's young. He's too young to stop, and he has enough of an audience to still make good money. So I don't think it was ever going to happen that he was going to stay away forever. If your goal was for him to change as a person, to delete all the old offensive content and make new content that is better and that is cleaner and that is not offensive and not racist and not gross. So far, it seems that that's moderately accomplished. We don't really know yet what the future holds, obviously. And in this one video, like I said, there was at least one moment that I found questionable. Somehow, he's not yet fully learned what the lines are of what's appropriate or not. And I guess if you're okay with watching him through the learning process, God bless you, go for it. If you're not, you don't have to. You don't have to watch this shit. What other goals for cancellation? I mean, if your goal was for him not to get any more brand deals, I think that's kind of already been accomplished. I think for me, my goal was to see genuine change. And I'm very skeptical. I think that, he spent a few minutes telling us that he changed, but ultimately I have to take him at his word. And I don't think I trust Shane Dawson at his word. I really wanted to see him go much more beyond that. I wanted to see him actually talk about the bad things he did for more than just saying, I was bad, but now I'm good. I didn't want to see him defend his old content in any way, but he did. But I'm also glad that he did not try to come back with a Britney Spears documentary or like a documentary. People were saying like he's going to do a Shane Dawson on himself. He didn't do that. He didn't try to do like a self-redemption thing like he did with other YouTubers in the past. If he had gone above and beyond and like taken some college courses and like attended some seminars, like I said in my previous video, when I thought he might try to come back with Britney Spears, if he had really instead of posting on Instagram stories about all the luxury goods he's been buying and about moving and buying a new house with a farm and blah, 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 if instead he had been posting about, I attended this seminar about civil rights, I don't know, something that he could learn from and grow from, talk to some professors or some professionals about why his shit was wrong, other than the same therapist he's had for years who doesn't seem to be pushing him to change his morals, because again, that's not necessarily the role of a therapist. I would feel much more confident to take him at his word and believe that he has actually changed in some major ways. Him coming back and doing scary stuff, spooky stuff, and talking about how he wants to make horror movies, whatever. I have very mixed feelings, to be honest with you. I like to give everybody the benefit of the doubt, and I feel like we did accomplish a lot. I just wish that he'd handled the whole thing better, and I hope that going forward, he is more in touch with what is acceptable and what is not. I do not have high hopes for that based on already this first video and the moment that I alluded to before. But that being said, it's kind of clean, wholesome content. If I'm in a spooky mood, I might watch just to keep tabs and make sure that he's not falling back into his old ways. But I also know that by continuing to watch, it continues to empower him, give him money, give him attention. I don't know. It's tough. Shane is one of those people that you want to like. He makes it seem like he is trying to do all the right things. But again, you don't know because it's all internal work and you have to take him at his word. The one glimmer of hope that I see in this is, like I said, that he's made that delineation between before I used to push the bad stuff aside, and this time I took it and I confronted it head on, and I realized that I need to do that, and that is a part of me that exists, and if I don't confront it head on, it's not going to go anywhere. Good. Self-awareness is key. Awesome. But that seems like the first step of many. It took him 1.5 years to make that first step. I don't know. I don't blame you for watching him. I don't blame you for not watching him. I just feel like he missed one of the main points of his cancellation, and it's kind of sad to see that. We have to keep our eye on him, and we have to keep like, pressing him. I guess with videos like this, because he's not allowing negative comments, I don't know how else anyone's going to get through to him. It's tiring. He's tiring. I think I don't even know if I can watch his content just for the fact of how tired it makes me. Also, my eyebrows are two entirely different shapes. I spend so much time on my eyebrows during my makeup routine. What am I doing wrong? Let me know in the comments below. Please let me know what you think. And I'm going to try to post more consistently on this channel. This is a place where I come, just like the title of the channel says, when I need to yell. And I don't always need to yell, so I'm not going to always be uploading here. It'll be whenever something comes up that I want to talk about. But feel free to give me ideas in the comments as well, because maybe I'm just not looking up shit that I need to yell about, you know? Alright, thank you so much for watching this video. I'll see you the next time I need to yell about something. I have a few videos coming, don't worry. Please like and subscribe if you like this video and you want to see some more. Thank you. You're great. Go have a wonderful day. Bye. There's this weird phenomenon of everybody gets into a scandal, makes an apology video, and then comes back. But I think that what should now be like required after the apology video and then the break is the follow-up video. I apologized for this, I took a break, and then this is what I did during my break to work on myself. I think that should be required. Because otherwise, what are we supposed to think? How are we supposed to know that anything has happened and that anything has, that you're true to your word? How are we supposed to take you at your word that you're changing in any way? Show me some receipts. Show me you at a class. Show me you talking with a professor. Show me you volunteering. Show me you doing something besides sitting in your house, taking selfies, buying luxury goods, and treating it like a vacation when it's not. If you're taking time away, you need to use that time to change. If you're gonna come back, you have to come back different.